Whiteheads reassure the public that a divine plan is in motion and that is destined to, of course, come into fruition. Okay, so this is all in fulfillment of the original prophecies, right? So let's talk about this a little bit more. The prophecies surrounding the lineage of King David have long foretold that his descendants would play a pivotal role in guiding humanity in times of darkness, which is actually what's happening right now, right? Think about it. They've always foretold that his descendants, all right, and we could see this throughout history, the founding fathers and their connections to the remnants of the Knights Templars, who were the heroes in the Dark Age medieval times, who were the resurrected descendants of King Solomon and King David. And we also see this during the times of Jesus, right? The community of Qumran and the Essenes. Jesus and his brother James and the 12, and what they called the Essene people, right? Those that were part of his inner circle. They have always been a part. They were all white hats, in other words, okay? So the prophecies surrounding the line of David have foretold that his descendants would, again, guide humanity through these times of darkness, okay? So today, the Davidic lineage, embodied by the Whiteheads, stands poised to fulfill these prophecies or these promises by implementing the SARA, the QFS, and a united economic front with BRICS. The Whiteheads aim to usher in a new age where freedom, transparency, and justice are all pillars of society. So the QFS, secured through the timeless collaboration of the Triple Temporal Alliance, stands as a testament in the Whiteheads' commitment to divine justice. So with a system free from corruption and, of course, manipulation, the descendants of King David are ensuring that humanity is once again in the hands of leaders that are aligned with God's will, which is freedom, justice, equality for all, and abundance for all. So through the efforts, and when you guys think about it, when you guys read those stories in the Old Testament, every time Abraham, all right, when you even consider the story of Abraham and Sarah, every time they or their descendants were in positions of power, there was prosperity, there was freedom, there was justice, there was no corruption. Think about it. It's just history repeating itself, right? But now we are in a critical juncture where now the tables are turning, right? Now we are about to fulfill prophecy. We're seeing the end of a long rule or of a long reign by a certain bloodline coming to end, all right, coming to collapsing. And then we're going to be seeing the ushering in of a golden age as the descendants of King David had promised to fulfill, okay? So through the efforts of the Whiteheads, the activation of the NESARA, the QFS, and a partnership with BRICS, right, because they are working together, by the way, humanity stands at the cusp of a new era. Free from the control of the cabal, the Triple Temporal Alliance, secured by Nikola Tesla and John Trump, time's travel mastery, has ensured that the cabal's attempt to alter history have failed, solidifying the Whiteheads' inevitable victory. So as rumors of fear and manipulation fade, the fulfillment of prophecy draws near, placing the world back into the protective, guiding hands of the descendants of King David. Now let's talk about the underground facilities. But before I do, before I give you guys the latest update as to how the Earth Alliance has recently taken over the entire underground networks as of a few days ago, which is big news. Okay, so now they're ready to do something big. Okay, they were waiting to secure all the dumps, in other words. So before I get to that, let me just let you guys know something about executive order that was signed in 2018 by, of course, the CIC, the CNC, the CIC, Chief and Commander. You guys know who I'm talking about. Okay, therefore, due to this prophecy that I've been talking about, the military, all right, led by Commander-in-Chief, Mr. T, with the Insurrection Act that he signed in 2018, executive order in full effect, suggesting that the whole world is on the brink of significant revelations and transformative changes. According to this perspective, secret operations initiated in April 2019 under President T and the Global Military Alliance have exposed and dismantled some of the darkest aspects of elite power. The rescue of millions of tortured and trafficked little ones from the deep underground military bases, And you guys all know all this, right? Worldwide, in the disruption of an elite network trafficked, these little ones reveal a hidden war waged on behalf of humanity. So in April 2019, under Mr. T's leadership, clandestine operations were allegedly launched to dismantle little one trafficking networks spanning continents. All right, that just you could say, came into completion a few days ago. But it was launched in 2019. Okay, these missions, undertaken by military personnel and intelligence operatives, focused on rescuing the little ones. A lot of people ask me, are all the little ones secure now? Have they, saved all the little ones? And the answer to that is yes, as of a few days ago. Let me explain. So focus on rescuing the little ones, right? These missions have been the young adults that were held captive in underground networks stretching beneath countries including the United States, Canada, Mexico, Australia, and of course Europe. The horrifying conditions uncovered in these facilities are beyond comprehension. These hidden labyrinths, run by powerful elite factions, have allegedly housed unspeakable atrocities against humanity's most vulnerable. In March 2021, the Suez Canal incident allegedly marked another pivotal point in these operations. A cargo ship from the Evergreen Corporation, co-owned by Walmart and the Clinton Foundation, blocked one of the world's most crucial maritime routes. Official reports attributed the blockage to navigational errors, but some believe this incident masked a covert mission by U.S. Navy SEALs to rescue over 1,000 trafficked little ones that were held in the ship's containers. These operations unearthed trafficking rings and even weapons of mass destruction intended to incite violence and chaos in the Middle East. This rescue mission signaled a significant blow to the cabal's operations, exposing a network that some believe extends to online catalogs like Wayfair, where little ones are supposedly ordered like products. That's crazy. That makes you want to barf. Wow. Uncovering an elite's network protected by mainstream media. Let's talk about that a little bit, because that's another thing that's going to be exposed too when Project Odin takes over everything, all the news. So since these discoveries, it is believed that mainstream media networks led by organizations like ABC Nashville have attempted to cover up the severity of these crimes, which means that they have to go to Gitmo now, right? They have the people behind ABC Nashville. That's treason. Those are crimes against humanity. So according to this narrative, the mainstream media's persistent focus on trivial news while ignoring or dismissing such atrocities reveals their commitment to protecting powerful figures at the expense of transparency and accountability. Well, on September the 1st, 2024, which was a month ago, Mr. T announced Mr. T's announcement, of the largest child rescue operation in history reportedly shocked many networks. Okay, I don't know if you guys heard about this. This was exactly about a little over a month ago, where Mr. T did announce, a large rescue operation that apparently shocked the networks. So according to these claims, the scale of little one, operations have been dismantled is immense. Okay, and when it comes to the exposure of the people that were involved in these crimes, the masses are going to lose it, guys. The masses are going to lose it. So the media's reluctance to report on these findings, whether due to complicity or manipulation, underscores the length to which those in power will go to preserve their dominance and hide their complicity in heinous crimes. So the claim suggesting also that Big Pharma, let's just call it Big Pharma. I hope you guys know what I'm talking about, right? Prescriptions. All right, so the claims supporting Big Pharma suggests, or let's just say Big Pharma and the global health crisis that's happening as a result of Big Pharma, okay, suggests that a significant portion of, let's just call them pharmaceuticals, contain harmful substances, and this is what RFK Jr. is going to be instrumental in exposing this and, of course, making those reformations, including opium and petroleum derivatives, all right, used to sedate and control the masses. All this stuff was in, these things that people were prescribed. Okay, so the pharmaceutical industry, often accused of prioritizing. Yes, I'm not. I'm using a code name, guys. The pharmaceutical industry, often accused of prioritizing profit over public health, is said to be complicit in the mass poisoning. According to this viewpoint, the extensive use of addictive or harmful substances, and of course, these things that they give to the people, right, have become a tool for keeping populations dependent, unhealthy, and under the control of the elite interests. This is another thing that's going to be exposed to the general public. Okay. So in October, it is believed that the cabal was planning on releasing another thing called the Replicon, which was expected to roll out in Japan this month, and it didn't happen. Why? Because the White Hats beat them in every probable timeline. Okay, this would have been a huge global health crisis if they would have pulled this off, right? Designed to replicate within the human body, right? This new thing, this, that's what that is. That is viewed by some as a potential bioweapon that could further compromise, human health and enable those in power to exert control over public health on a massive scale. These claims suggest that the Replicon, it was called Replicon, may act as a catalyst for a worldwide catastrophe, an attempt by elites to consolidate control over populations under the guise of public safety. However, the bioweapon was also destroyed by the White Hats a couple of months before it was supposed to be released in October, thanks to Nikola Tesla and John Trump. Do you see how the Triple Temporal Alliance were able to, it's like a chess game, they were able to outmaneuver the cabal in everything that they were trying to do in order to prevent Mr. T from coming back this November. So in response to these, looming threats that are no longer threats, Trump's plan reportedly includes the deployment of medbeds. A lot of people keep asking me, when are they going to release them? Well, that's part of his return. Part of his return is not only exposing these, harmful things and replacing them with things that work, but is also to deploy on a mass scale medbeds. And yes, they are going to be free, guys. They are going to be free, right? Which is a revolutionary technology expected to replace traditional, the traditional system of, you know what I'm talking about, right? By the end of the year, it is believed. So cross your fingers, because I know a lot of you guys are struggling with some illnesses. You guys are probably on your, in so much pain, in a critical position with certain illnesses, and people keep asking me, I really need a med bed. I don't know if I'm going to live past 6 months or a year, but I really need a med bed. So just keep having faith, right? It's coming. So these med beds are set to, of course, heal the body on a cellular level, offering treatments that range from eliminating disease to regrowing limbs. So that's another feature that the med beds have, is that they're going to be able to regrow limbs as well. This technology, withheld from the public for years, is believed to be it's believed to represent a paradigm shift in healthcare, prioritizing holistic wellness over profit. So with the arrival of medbeds, the narrative proposes that humanity will experience a healthcare renaissance, moving from a system dependent on pharmaceuticals to one that fosters genuine healing. Medbeds, it is claimed, could remove the need for countless drugs and surgeries, freeing humanity from the grip of profit-driven healthcare industries that some believe is more focused on managing sickness than curing it. So, looking ahead, the White Hats envision a near future where the traditional electoral process is replaced with a transparent, fair, and just system. And that's what they're doing now. So after the Insurrection Act's enactment and the activation of the 2018 executive order by Mr. T, it is believed that the military now holds the power to oversee the shift and ensure a free and fair election. Mr. T's leadership and the military's control over the electoral process are seen as safeguards against manipulation by deep state interest aiming to restore power to the people. These changes represent not only a political transformation, but also the beginning of a new era of integrity and freedom, right? As depicted upon according to the ancient prophecies, right? Regarding the descendants of King David. So the promise of a fair election where citizens can trust their vote to count uh, serves as a final rebuke to the deep state's influence, restoring confidence in democratic institutions and honoring the principle of self-government. And that's what the republic is all about. It is self-government. It's where every single person counts, right? That's why they vote things in. It's a council. That's the closest we have to the councils of the intergalactic societies is the republic, right? We have a galactic senate, right? Where it's a majority vote, where people come together and discuss things that are in favor of the greatest number, right? And so when you have people that are non-corrupt, that people that are righteous, people full of integrity that are part of this Senate or part of this council, right, which forms the republic, then you have outcomes that are beneficial for all of humanity because these people are full of integrity. Okay, so in this view, the military's control under commander-in-chief is paving the way. Commander-in-chief and the military world alliance is paving the way for a seismic shift in human society. So from the rescue of little ones and the exposure of the cabal's vast networks to the arrival of the medbeds and a new just electoral process, these changes represent the dawning of a new age where truth and justice are valued above all else. So the darkness hidden within these military underground bases and their elite networks is also will be coming to light to the general public, right? Freeing humanity from hidden chains of oppression. So a more revelation comes to light, and that is the fact that the world led by those in pursuit of profit, power, and control will be replaced with one led by principles of transparency, wellness, and fairness. The anticipated return of the Davidic bloodlines descendants and the reestablishment of humanity's trust in governance and healthcare reflect a broader prophecy of renewal. At the forefront of this revolution, Mr. T and the Whiteheads appear poised to usher in a new world, freeing humanity from the grips of deception and leading us towards a future marked by justice, health, and of course, true freedom. So the reports that the Whiteheads are now in full control of the deep underground military bases known as dumps. And this happened as of October 21st, which was exactly about a week ago, marks a significant shift in the ongoing battle between forces of light and dark. Of course, the dumps have long been speculated as hidden sites where covert and morally questionable operations are conducted by shadowy groups that are associated with the elite power structure. These spaces allegedly spanning continents and that have been located under major cities, countries, and strategic points worldwide have served as hubs for secret research, military activity, and even illicit trafficking. Okay, so in the narrative of the Whitehead control, the recent shift of underground facility authority represents a major victory against the forces seeking to manipulate, exploit, and oppress humanity from behind the scenes. So for those that don't know what these underground military facilities are, I'm just going to give you a brief explanation. I know I have a lot of new people that are still asking me, what is the QFS? Is Nasera real? Who are the Whiteheads? so a lot of you guys are not too deep into the rabbit hole. So it's okay. We're all in this together, right? We're all trying to uncover what's really going on. So deep underground military bases have historically been associated with secrecy and speculation, originally created to serve as strategic locations during wartime, providing safe shelter and logistical control centers. These military underground bases gradually became synonymous with rumors of black budget projects, hidden technologies, and unspeakable activities. With the public largely unaware of their existence, these bases allegedly became sanctuaries for operations outside of legal or ethical constraints, allowing a shadow network of powerful entities to pursue their agendas far from the public's reach or scrutiny. These underground bases did stretch or do stretch across the United States, connecting major cities and military sites, as well as extending internationally to Canada, Mexico, Europe, Asia, and Australia. Some reports claim that these subterranean networks housed facilities for, of course, a lot of the international human, transportation, right, of selling of people, weapon development, illegal experimentation, and the training of mercenaries. Allegedly, these sites operated under the control of the dark forces, often connected with the so-called, you know, you know who I'm talking about, right? A secretive elite intent on using these facilities to maintain global dominance. All right, so the recent claims that the Wahad military forces have seized control of these bases definitely represents a dramatic shift in the power balance, right? Under the guidance of leaders who are determined to dismantle corrupt systems and restore transparency, the Wahad's begun conducting operations targeting these underground networks. This shift has involved elite military teams, special operation units, and global alliances working in coordination to infiltrate, secure, and ultimately neutralize these underground networks worldwide. So this takeover required strategic planning, secrecy, and an intricate understanding of dump layouts or underground base layouts and security measures. Many of these operations reportedly involved highly skilled personnel trained in subterranean warfare, armed with advanced technology, right? Hence the super soldiers and intelligence networks. These were the super soldiers that they used in order to fight the reptilians and some of those aliens that they found in these underground networks. Okay, so Whitehead forces began to liberate these facilities, right, working together with Solar Warden Space Force, exposing the dark activities occurring within and shutting down these operations in each base. All right, so as of the 21st of this month, the Whiteheads are officially in control of these bases. The successful seizure of these bases is seen as a monumental victory for the Whitehead campaign, as control over these facilities effectively cuts the Cabal's access to its hidden strongholds. So one of the primary missions of the Whitehead's takeover involved the rescuing of victims held in these underground facilities. Numerous reports suggest that it was millions upon millions of little ones that were actually trafficked and held captive in these underground facilities, subject to exploitation and inhuman treatment. The Whitehead military operations, according to this truth, resulted in the liberation of many victims, bringing them to safety and providing them with the necessary of medical and psychological support. So in addition to these rescues, the Whitehead's control of these underground bases have allowed them to uncover vast troves of evidence against the Cabal, ranging from documentation, right, of trafficking networks to the discovery of advanced technologies used in covert projects. Exposing the truth behind these activities is believed to be a critical step in dismantling the influence of dark organizations and holding accountable those who participated in these operations. So a new era of transparency and accountability has been prophesied about as the descendants of King David usurped the control from the descendants of Nimrod. So with the Whitehead military in control, right, of these underground facilities as of a week ago, there is a growing belief that a new era of transparency and accountability is on the horizon. So by uncovering the secrets that have been buried beneath the Earth's surface for decades, these operations are effectively dismantling the infrastructure of secrecy, which was something that the John F. Kennedy wanted to do, right? So the plan is finally coming into fruition, dismantling the infrastructure of secrecy, first and foremost, that has allowed these dark forces to operate without accountability. This shift promises to weaken the Cabal's ability to manipulate global events from the shadows and marks a return to a system where institutions are responsible for the people they serve. So through public disclosures, which is going to be amazing. I can't wait for this to happen, right? The real meaning of the term apocalypse and revelation in the last book of the Bible means a disclosure of information, things that have been hidden for thousands of years, made public in 10 days, right? as they're broadcasting on all the platforms. Okay, so the shift promises to weaken the cabal's ability to manipulate global events from the shadows and marks a return to a system where institutions are responsible to the people they serve. So through public disclosures, which is one of the things that is in plan when Mr. T comes back into office, and the exposures, of course, of the documented evidence that the White Hats recovered from these underground facilities. The White Hats aim to educate the public on a large scale, regarding the corruption and the covert activities that have been persisted for generations. This transparency serves as a powerful tool, empowering people to recognize and reject deceptive practices and demand governments rooted in integrity. The release of this information will likely be followed by trials and persecutions, but in the public, not the ones that took place in Gitmo, but I'm talking about we're going to have actual public persecutions and trials as well, ensuring that those responsible for the crimes committed within these bases are held accountable. So the taking over of these dumps, these underground facilities, represents a far more than a military operations. It is a symbolic victory in the struggle to liberate humanity from the system of covert control. So by gaining control over the dark networks operating beneath the surface, the Alliance are seen as securing a brighter future for all. The suppression of these powerful underground institutions signifies an ending to all secrecy and the beginning of transparency, where people are no longer manipulated by hidden agendas. So with humanity's newfound access to technologies and innovations, once confined to these underground facilities, like the medbeds, the possibility for a better tomorrow and limitless future is at hand. From medical advancements that could revolutionize healthcare to energy sources that free the world from environmental degradation. The promise of these discoveries aligns with the vision of a world built on truth, freedom, and shared prosperity. So the White Hats' military control of these underground facilities finally, right, in conclusion, marks a definite movement in the ongoing battle between the forces of light and dark by dismantling the operations of secretive organizations, liberating victims that were rescued from these facilities, securing advanced technologies, making sure that they're in the hands of the right people, right? People with integrity, the righteous, and exposing the full extent of the hidden activities. The Alliance are securing humanity's future. The victory serves as both a symbol and a practical step towards the restoration of a world governed by integrity and transparency. Okay, so the promise of this new era is not only simply hopeism, but it is a transformation in the making, where one hidden technology, public accountability, and a commitment to truth becomes the foundation for society. So with the end of this underground operation, military operation that has been going on since the 1950s, we are definitely going to be seeing a brighter future. All right. So with that in mind, I do want to welcome everybody that is in the house. I'm going to give a few shout outs. I see Brandy Markins in the house. Christiani is in the house. Wow, it's going so fast. Jill Hunt is in the house. Radiant Guardians. Sylvia Foster. Sierra is in the house. Ricky Lee 1111. Amanda Tempori. Master of Light. Sylvia Vidal. Elizabeth Namaste. Who else is in the house? Kristen Anderson is in the house. Yeah, I don't see Mathis Chronicles. He's probably, I can't believe he's not with us today. And everybody else here, all 2020 something people that are in the house. 2000. Wow, that's awesome. All right, so if you guys have any questions for me, please type them in capital letters. Thank you so much. Is it Viscera? I think I'm going to have to put my glasses on now. Viveka Kolnisher, thank you so much for your super chat. Appreciate that, sister. Shauna, thank you so much for sharing. She says, thank you for sharing too. You're welcome. Anybody else? All right, let's see. Oops, I just left the super chat. All right, this is a good one. Oops. Ishmael, channeling messages from higher beings like Ashtar Command, family of Taygeta, etc. True or false? Are they credible? Well, it all depends. You know, there are trickster entities out there that pose to be positive aliens. So this is where you guys have to have discernment. If you guys are going to be channeling or receiving transmissions or connecting with any other dimensional, make sure that you feel it in your heart and not in your stomach. Because if you feel it in your stomach, chances are that they are tricksters. Okay, so make sure you feel it in your heart. Hi Ishmael, where do you acquire all your knowledge? Well, I'm still learning. However, most of the stuff that I know comes from many years of transmissions, connecting with my galactic self, um, shifting from my human avatar to my multidimensional galactic avatar, and being part of these councils, accessing records from the intergalactic records, and also massive research. Massive research. I think just alone in high school, I read almost 1,000 books. When I was in high school, after high school, I read another few thousand. I've read so many books my entire life. I mean, I literally I used to just live off of just reading materials and documents. I was addicted to information. So, but mainly a lot of the stuff that is off-world, that comes from me accessing the intergalactic records. But a lot of the Y-Hat reports are coming in by both transmissions from the Earth Alliance, and also, not to mention, via telepathy, also doing research to kind of support and validate a lot of those transmissions. And so, yeah, I always write down every presentation. She's saying, is Mr. T working with our star system families? Oh, yes, our star system families. Yes, he is doing so. I thought you were talking about my star system family. No. He works with a collection of star system families, like the Pleiadians, the Andromedans, the Venetians, right? The Arcturians, the Hadarians, the Syrians. That's who he works with. Oh, this is a good one. How much will our world change after the solar flash? This is from Priscilla Stanley. And the answer to that is the world. The fifth dimensional Earth reality is already here, existing in a different dimension, very similar to when Jesus told his inner disciples that the kingdom of heaven is here. It's just that people don't see it. It's because it's vibrating at a higher frequency. All we're going to do is translate from the third dimensional level of reality to either the fourth D Earth or the fifth D Earth, which is already here, but in a different dimension. So, no, you could say that, yes, in a way, the Earth is going to change after the solar flash, because there's going to be a translations of dimensions. To answer your question, Priscilla. Oh, yes, we will. This is a good question. This is a question from Susan Marsh, again, Skobelev. Will we have replicators for clean food choices? Absolutely. The replicators are going to exist in fourth dimensional reality. However, in the fifth dimensional reality, because we're going to be using our dormant DNA, right, the real technology, we're going to be able to materialize anything we want with our own thoughts. So it's like we're going to be natural replicators. All right, guys. I hope you guys have a beautiful rest of your evening, and I will see you guys in 2 nights, Wednesday night at 6 o'clock Pacific time. And may the God force be with each and every single one of you always.